Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we're returning to episode number 2 of our British campaign in Master of Command, a real-time strategy and war game, or a real-time tactical war game that has sort of a procedurally generated map campaign system that's kind of like a roguelike, where you're really focused on building up your army and getting ready to fight an enemy boss, and then a tactical battle campaign that feels a little bit more like kind of a Total War light, I guess is how I'd describe it. We started the campaign in our last episode, won a couple of battles. We're in the middle of sort of building up our force. We've got a second brigade. We started with one. We're working on a second, and that's where we find ourselves right about now, early on in this campaign. Now, this was taken from a live stream on my Twitch channel, so we're going to go ahead and turn ourselves over to that. But let's go ahead and jump back into this thing. Wagon here, and then we're going to pivot south, so I got to secure more encampments. Weaken enemy field army for $130 or seize it and move on. My army's ready to fight, so let's fight. Actually, we outnumber these guys now too. Enemy has 2 cavalry units and no artillery. That's what I like to see. 2 recruits for frontiers and a royal recruit. Those, I mean, I'm sure I'll take huge casualties now that I say that, but those are the types of enemy armies I would like to fight. Okay. My British foot are up to 4. Veterancy. That's nice. These guys are going to have really good cover. Try to hit the enemy in the flank, maybe. Redcoat recruits are the center of our line. The town actually gives them better cover, but I think moving them forward into that wood line is the better tactical positioning. We should actually move these guns forward a little bit too. We'd have better cover if we stayed back on our original line. I just don't think the enemy would come up and face us. I don't like that we're going to be fighting enemy on elevation, though. Perhaps sitting back would have been smarter. I just didn't want to give up the cover. Okay, we're firing at the royal recruits, which other than the cavalry is probably their best unit, I think. Actually, there's still a lot of cover for those redcoat recruits in there. Light dragoons using the town if the enemy's going to come at them. Artillery just sitting out in an open field, pounding the enemy. Oh, they're moving. They're always moving. That's one thing I've learned. The enemy is always moving in this game. Constant motion. But we might be able to suck him into a little bit of a a V where we can hit them on the flanks. Where are dragoons forward here? Oh, they're going to turn toward me, and I'm going to pull back. I'm not going to drive my dragoons into an unfavorable position. Not really a V. Kind of maybe more like a U. One of these guys forward here. Get them in range before they can just volley me to death. We'll have a little bit of a staggered line, but I want everybody shooting. Hanoverian land melts. Nice. Drove the Cossacks back easy before getting savaged with an enemy volley, but we basically broke the Cossacks. Frontier recruits are really going to try and push forward on the dragoons. Enemy has some dragoons too. Yeah, if they want to open their flank to me, I'm fine with that. Frontier recruits are already retreating. This may be a pretty quick fight. They did not shoot at my British foot like at all. These enemy dragoons are going to be a bit of a problem. Those guys are going to die. My troops are going to die there on the right flank, but they're outnumbered 5-1. You want to have the enemy charge you by all means. Just get into position before they hit your line. If I have to, I'll order the volley fire off, but I'd rather they stick to it. I think they'll get there just in time. Nope. They just missed out. General von Broxvig. Go get him. Alright, General's gonna get himself killed. Trying to pursue this enemy dragoon unit. They're trying to turn to catch up with my cavalry, which is pursuing north. Now they're stuck because they're probably out of range. And they're just taking volleys here. There we go. Another victory! An undefeated stream so far. Oh, thank you for the follow, Alabama. 266 dollars taken, bunch of stuff taken, some horses maybe. We lost 586 men. We've got 1,700 in reserve. No reason to take the recruits, except that it'll build our buffer more. I say we go for the veteran, see. The ammo might be nice, but I'm big on upskilling my own troops, and the British take more to upgrade, so upgrading these guys as much as we can. There goes all of our ammo, a chunk of our recruits. The Dragoons are up to level 4. I don't think that's ready to upgrade yet. Oh, they're actually maxed out. You can't upgrade more than Dragoons for light Dragoons. Okay, so there's nowhere to upgrade those guys. Just keep gaining your experience, I guess. British foot needs to get to 6 to do veteran or grenadier foot, or grenadiers. I'm curious. Grenadiers gain some accuracy, base accuracy. But it's a smaller unit. They get much better melee fighting, though. Veteran foot stays the same size and gets a little bit more of a musketry perk. No real bonus to the melee, though. The British Grenadiers are just generally, I think, a much better value. Alright, so we got better horses. Move speed and melee. Can we get better horses to the artillery? No? That's lame. Alright, so our cavalry here, we can get either 8 melee and 2 speed, or 6 accuracy and 6 speed. I usually don't charge. Ideally, I don't charge until the battle's already largely decided. So I think accuracy and speed, based on the way I play. Although I'd have to replace... Oh, we can spend 50 gold and get it. Yeah, I don't think we'll do anything with this. Or this, we'll probably sell those. I guess we could keep them for the future. Okay. Alright. 4th convoy. We've almost convoyed out. Let's go to this outpost. I don't want to cut through the swamp, though, so hopefully they don't. There might be like a fortified army here in one of these woods. I feel like the later missions, usually it's pretty bad, but... Alright. Starving garrison. What does providing them food do? Okay, did I just give them food for no reason? Sure seems like it. There's an enemy army here at Rathenow. Give me the ordnance. Yay, offensive spirit. I don't like the negative 10% regiment accuracy. I'm not a melee player. 6-pound iron howitzer. What do we do with that? So this battery we have of artillery. 40%, 350, 35. So the accuracy is worse by 15%. The range is worse. And the reload is worse. Well, the reload's... No, yeah, what's the benefit? The damage is 30. So the damage is double. But the accuracy is almost half. I don't think that's worth it. My 2 cents? I don't think it's worth it. Alright, let's go... Now, let's forget about Rathenow. Let's go to Templin. I don't particularly want to fight. But I guess the convoy's on the way. Let's do that. I don't want to fight an enemy army right now, maybe? Just give me the gold and let's get to the town. Where's the enemy army over here? So they will have 13,000 men. I need more men badly, but getting to this town is good for a few reasons. One, I can get more ammo. Spend 100 gold on that. Equip that. I need more provisions too. But let's sell the colors, the regimental flag. We're going to sell this artillery. Well, sell the breastplate. Okay. I need an officer for my troops. Isaac Talbot. That sounds British. So now our other brigade will have an officer. Talbot. We also can fit up to 2 more regiments in here. Ideally, I'd like an artillery. You know, what is staff college? You just buy stuff. You buy upgrades and perks. Get better guns at the foundry, maybe. Barracks. Highland Foot. I can get, like, good troops. Or I can get crap. The Highland troops also come with land patterns. Is there... And there's no option to buy a artillery unit, which is what I would really want. Alternatively, get 2 subs. What do a subsidy recruits upgrade to? They can upgrade to Hanoverian land mills, which are good from a musketry point of view. Oh, man, the Highland Foot is tempting, though. It's just like, all right, we're just going to jump you down the upgrade tree almost all the way to the bottom. I need to get 200 more gold. I can easily get that just by selling this iron 6-pounder. Sell these horses. We'll keep the horses. I might need them. If I'm going to buy the Hanoverians, I don't need the muskets, because they already have land patterns. So get the Highland recruits. So another 1,200 men in my force. Ideally, I would want a 3rd brigade, which I'll need a lot more gold. I'll need to fight a bunch more battles to get. But the army is starting to take shape here. We'll do the riding boots to give you the money to buy more provisions, because we are dangerously low on food. Alright, so now what? I'm not going to fight the 13,000 man force yet. I'm here. 5,400 troops might be tempting to go after. We also do need to go for the encampments. Fuck you, I'm chasing you. We're going to fight you. Battle of Templin. They've got provisional cavalry, royal recruits, fusiliers, so they've got a little bit of a better army. But I outnumber them heavily. The funny thing is, even in a battle like this, where the enemy's retreating on the strategic map, they're still going to come right at me on the tactical map. That's like, again, criticism of the game is that battles all feel very much the same. They don't have any artillery, right? Cavalry and infantry. Now let's move these guys all the way to the back of the map. Get them, make sure the enemy is not going to be hiding in those wood lines. Stretch the lines out as far as possible so there's a maximum volley fire. It also does expose the enemy to the greatest degree possible to enfilading fire. Because I'm assuming they're going to end up in this U. Embark. And their general just back chilling here. Alright, we'll speed things along. So this fight's a little bit faster. We'll see if the enemy comes at us. Our flank is in the air for the British foot, so if I was them, I'd attack the flank. But I suspect the enemy's going to come straight for us. I don't know if artillery accuracy reduces when you're on increased speed. I'm not really sure how that works. Let's get the dragoons up here to shield the artillery a little bit. Hopefully the artillery is a little bit on an island, but my thought is they'll be moving more into the flank, or exposing their flank more to me. Oh, they're going to come for my artillery? Alright, well then I'm going to have to push the dragoons out there a little bit. so the enemy doesn't shoot at me. So that's smart by the AI. Yay, cavalry charging in the woods. Alright, drove off the enemy cavalry. Shattered the enemy cavalry. Maybe we can get out of there before the enemy volleys me again. My foot troops are engaging the enemy. Didn't quite work out the way I had hoped with the enemy coming onto our flank, so to that end, let's just advance these troops and have them fight. We broke one of the enemy cavalry units the same way we did in the last fight. Alright, the enemy's retreating. The quicker there's no benefit to driving the casualty count up on the enemy. So the faster I break them, the better for me. I suppose maybe the benefit is you get more POWs, but that's not really the perk I'm going for. I suppose a longer fight, maybe you get a little bit more experience. The enemy really don't like to take casualties. I mean, not that, like, anyone likes to take casualties, but they do not. I don't know if it's been modded so that maybe they're less willing to do it, but it sure seems like they have no appetite for losses. Somehow, these dragoons defeated another enemy that was considerably larger than they were. Who's charging? Oh shit, my general just meleeed into these enemy troops. Well, my general's gonna rout, and that'll even morale up. Hopefully we don't lose too badly. I thought those enemy troops were retreating, so when my general runs off the map, if the enemy hasn't already broken, and actually maybe to that end. Alright, my general shattered. Alright, I drove back that cavalry. They won't withstand a major volley. My artillery's like, hey guys, we haven't taken any casualties, but we are late tired, so we'd like to run off the map, please. Oh, the cavalry's officer died. I hope that's not the brigade commander, Manager Grenby. But I'm late tired.
Then take a nap, and then fire the missiles.
Alright, so we won the battle. 215 gold. It doesn't look like our officer was killed. Plenty of recruits. We took 400 casualties. I could get 1,000 more recruits. I'll go with the veterancy. No, Granby died. He did die. Fuck. Alright. We need a new brigade commander. Good thing we're right by this town. With a noble estate. Abraham Townsend. You have a good name. Alright. Potsdam muskets are good. We'll keep those to the side. Steppe horses are good. 8 stamina, 6 move speed. Much better than these guys. We'll sell this horse. Stamina's pretty important, so I actually like the smaller limber chests for that reason, for artillery, generally speaking. Alright, let's go back here. So we've got 2 rookie officers who have really no perks. This artillery here, this does... Let's just make them better. These guys all have good muskets, so there's that. Artillery ammo is cheap here. Ammo and reserve are cheap, so it almost makes sense to just spend everything you've got. Because we get 15% more reserves available at 25% reduced cost. Same for ammo, frankly. It's like I don't need it now, but... Let's go up to that encampment. We have 60, so we've got over 100 days. What is that? 1,200 more reserves, $40, and 2 weapons captured. What weapons? Okay. 10,000 enemy troops, huh? Let's fall back to Templin. Can we outrun them? I don't know where that enemy army came from. Alright, so now I don't have a need for these Hussar sabers or Neustadt muskets. So sell those. I don't have enough money for subsidy recruits. I'd rather artillery, frankly. I'm hesitant to rush into that. Oh wait, that's the encamped army. The headquarters 13,000. Those guys are 10,000. Okay. I need 2 more encampments. There were several back where we started, right? We're gonna fight, aren't we? This would be our first real challenge if we did fight these guys. They're really gonna pursue me, huh? Fieldwork item. Did my Scotsman didn't lose the one they had, did they? Oh, they did! I assumed it would only take from inventory. That was my mistake. Oh, I thought they were running away, but nope, never mind. Ooh, I can get a free unit? For money and... okay. Grenzers, their aim is deadly. Cossacks. I really just want artillery, but... I guess we'll go with Grenzers. They fit the, mold of this army best, I think. They get worn muskets, but I've got Potsdams in stock. Okay. Alright, we need another encampment. There's a convoy up there. I don't see an encampment. Do I really have to go all the way back here? It's kind of funny if there's not another encampment before there. What about this outpost? What do we get here? Face a tough enemy army for an artillery regiment. A weak enemy army if we wait 7 days. Well, given we're being pursued by a tough enemy army, let's wait the 7 days. British Artillery Battalion. What's this? Why are we taking attrition? I'm out of food! Damn. Well, good thing we're about to fight before we've taken any attrition. Alright, let's do this. Let's swap out... The Redcoat recruits can actually upgrade to British Foot, which is where I want to go with them. I'd like some artillery in this unit. So we're doing some upgrades right now. These British Foot are going to go to... I don't see any reason not. Other than they're slightly smaller. The Grenadiers have a slightly inferior base accuracy by 5. They also have 200 fewer men. But their melee abilities are so much better. And I know that's not really how I'm fighting, but I also think the morale is something worth considering. So, we'll do that. I get the 200 recruits back anyway. The artillery can upgrade to field artillery. Okay. Let's pull the Grenzers out so I can swap them with my artillery. Alright. We're out of food. However, we're gonna fight this enemy army like right away before the effects of the attrition kick in. We should be able to beat these guys pretty easy and then do the ammo and I think it's dollars and ammo, or is it dollars and provisions? One of them gives you provisions. This is the release build, Furious. Alright, so the energy is going to come from me. Ooh, nice. We get a little hill back here. Place the artillery on the hill. Okay. I'll swing this cavalry over to that flank. Put the general by the artillery so he can keep their morale up as they burn through ammo. Highland Foot, you're going to go up in this town on the flank. Hanoverian, you're going to use this hedge line here. So it kind of forms a bit of an L on the left flank. We'll try to do that with the Grenadiers on the right, or on the left. Sorry, on the right is what I meant before, but I don't know. Does the enemy have any artillery in this battle? I don't think they do. They don't. Okay, we should probably concentrate the fire on one regiment. They're both shooting at the left flank regiment. So that's probably smart. That's also the unit most vulnerable if they fall into the L trap. Let the Grenadiers hit them in the flank. Highland Foot here have this town giving them some really good cover. I don't think they're going to fall into the flank trap on the left, but maybe on the right. Sorry, vice versa. Not on the right, but maybe on the left. There you go, Hanoverian Foot, or Highland Foot. Give him a good old volley there. I'm just going to turn to face. Advance to contact. Surf recruits are... The Russians have morale bonuses, which haven't really seemed to help them a whole lot so far. So 125 so far. 56 there on that volley. They're gonna turn to face this cavalry. So let's move the infantry forward here and hit them in the open field. Just want to break him as quickly as I can. Limit my casualties. 42 for the Highland on the enemy's volley. Over 200 now. There they go. Retreating. Push forward here on these guys. Enemy cavalry's rushing forward. Oh, they're shooting at my light dragoons. Well, at least it's giving my infantry the option to shoot at these guys without taking losses. Look at all of it. Look, these little craters from the artillery. Alright, we usually have done pretty well versus the Russian cavalry here. And this one's no exception. Drove them off. Enemy Cossack cavalry tried to charge into the flank of the Highland Foot. Saw them off pretty confidently. This fight's pretty much over. One enemy surf regiment's left. Artillery didn't even really get into the fray in this fight very much. Enemy's rallying a little bit better in this fight. There we go. Beat him. Squares are not really, apparently, and I'm not super versed in Frederick the Great's wars, but apparently square formations are very iconic within the Napoleonic Wars, but were fairly rare in this era. There were a few high-profile cases of it, but generally it was not something that was done a lot. Alright, so exchange is still my best option where we get the provisions, so we can stay out of the attrition game. Let's get some experience doing that. Okay. Let's give him sock bayonets. I'm not a big fan of buck and ball. I don't find myself using it very much. Hey. All right. We need to get to a town. 100 provisions is not really enough. We need one more encampment. To that end, let's go to Werben. It says it's got cheap provisions there. Enemy army of 9,000 chasing us. Oh yeah, 16, that's cheap. We could also buy another field artillery unit for 1,000 gold. I need 750 to buy a new brigade, right? Okay, I'm not going to use buck and ball. I never use that. Alright, we'll buy the 3rd Brigade. We've got 1 regiment already, the Grenzers, we can put in place. Alright, so bought all of the food we can buy with the money that we have. Another regiment would be ideal here. They've got what I need. Well, when you say the rest of this era, the square became the default against cavalry later. Mid-1700s it was not the default, but by 1800 it was, so it's sort of a comes a little bit later thing, is my understanding. Alright, so the enemy's coming at me. 9,000 troops. I just added 1,200 with the new brigade. Townsend can upgrade because he just got his first experience level. Stamina and stamina recovery. That is what I want. Okay. 3 brigades should put me in pretty good shape against the enemy. But yeah, every one of my brigades should have artillery, I think. I probably need more cavalry. I don't know. I'll get one more free brigade if I get that 4th encampment. Do I really have to go all the way back here? It's the only encampment I see. I wonder if we're faster than them. Can we get there first? Yeah, we outran them. We gotta get to 171 for the enemy field army to rise. Unless they're running away from me. I don't want that. Alright, let's go get that encampment. We'll probably want to fight a battle or two more before we get to the headquarters army. I don't have officers or that, but another regiment too would be nice. $1,500 more reservists, 2 more weapons. Dear God. We get the field artillery also. What great bayonets. Well, I do think my units might actually be... Some of these guys might not have good ones. These guys don't. These guys don't. I'm always gonna probably sell the Delphs just because I want good accuracy weapons and I don't have, they're not that. The artillery, these guys are using iron 6-pounders, which are better than the other guys who are all using 3-pounders. At some point we'll want to upgrade that. Alright, so now it's a question of what do we do with the next 70 days that we have, or 65 days. So what's this quartermaster thing? Or an officer. I don't really know what that is, though. Like, what item is that? We could sit around and drill and get our experience up, too. What do we have? 8,000? We need to get to... I mean, the enemy army is going to be 13,000. Let's go fight one of these fortified armies. Not really the headquarter, but maybe one of the encamped armies. See what we can do with that. Should still give us plenty of time to re-equip and all that jazz. We do need some provisions too. We got 60 here. We got 84. So we're going to be outnumbered considerably by the headquarters army when we fight it, but I suppose this is the time to milk your get milk and get experience, right? They've got French hussars, recruits, fusiliers. Okay. How quickly can we beat these guys? Maybe that's the test on this fight. Alright, I actually like this because we can put the Highland boys on this. We can put these boys all along this ridge line here. Not ridge line, but the, ooh, high ground. Lots of it. We got 3 batteries of artillery now, too. Now what I need is a supply wagon. Let them pound away and... I'm actually more inclined to take the center of this line, although there's nothing here, and the... Let's do this. Let's test it out. I don't actually know what's better. Put the artillery here where they've got cover. Pound the enemy. Put the infantry to their front. Obviously the range will be shorter without the high ground, but... let's consolidate our lines a little bit. We don't need everybody out front. This is a really different battlefield by the looks of it. We actually can put some guns back up here on high ground too. Let's do this. Let's... use that ridge line. Dragoons, you can use the high ground over here. So put the cavalry off to the left on this high ground. Put the infantry on the cover here. Main issue with the artillery is it's way too far in front. Okay. Well, let's see what we got. Oops, don't do that. All right, everybody's focusing on the right flank Fusiliers unit. Shift yourself. Oh, they're not waiting for a volley. Okay, they're doing fired well. Got it. Usually the enemy does volley fire. Artillery shifting fire. Those row recruits aren't going to last long. Not under the withering fire that I'm subjecting them to. There we go. They're already retreating. Dragoons work on the flank of the next regiment down the line. Oh, but move up this way. So they'll have to turn to face you. Alright, the Hussars are retreating to Hussars' House of Fine Diamonds. My boys took quite a few casualties. One volley's all it took to throw those recruits into chaos. There you go. You got the charge, you got the bonus. How did we break the enemy that quickly? I wasn't even... there were only a few regiments, I guess. This is a weird battle. Alright, victory. $270. A lot of loot. I only lost 300 men. I have no need for troops. So I'll do the one that gives me dollars. Or, sorry, veterancy. Multiple units gain experience and get promoted. Alright, we've won another battle. We're gaining experience, but we've been going for almost an hour. So we'll wrap this up here. Pick this up next time as we go to fight one of the encampment armies. But until then, this is the Historical Gamer saying thank you very much for watching. And until next time, I'm out.